Novo Nordisk paid about $2.3 billion in Danish income tax last year. That money helped fund defense and aid for Ukraine. When its output dipped, Denmark's GDP fell 1.8% in one quarter. The company's market value is now larger than Denmark's annual GDP. Economists see a risk when one firm matters this much. National finances start to track quarterly results. This is how a fast-growing weight loss drug turned a diabetes leader into a pillar of Denmark's economy, and how the story began. It started in Copenhagen almost a century ago, with a scientist whose work and home life collided. In the early 1920s, August Krogh was a leading Danish physiologist. His wife Marie had diabetes at a time with no real treatment and a short life expectancy. On a 1922 lecture tour in North America, Krogh learned about insulin from Canadian researchers. It wasn't a cure, but it let patients manage diabetes and live much longer. For Krogh, this was personal. If he could bring it to Denmark, it could help Marie and many others. Denmark had no insulin supply. Early insulin came from bovine pancreases, using a labor-intensive process that limited output. Patients still faced a likely fatal outcome. In Toronto, Krogh secured the rights to produce insulin for the Nordic countries and returned to start manufacturing. By 1923, Krogh co-founded Nordisk Insullaboratorium and a small Copenhagen lab. Production was small, but each batch mattered. It offered treatment that could add decades to patients' lives. From the beginning, Nordisk ran under a foundation model. Profits were reinvested in science, manufacturing, and patient care, rather than paid out to private owners. This structure protected the company from short-term pressures and shaped its growth for decades. Distribution was critical. August Kongsted, owner of Lovens Kaminsk Fabric, provided financing and used his pharmaceutical network to deliver insulin to hospitals across Scandinavia. Patients who once faced a death sentence began receiving regular treatment. Nordisk grew with a clear purpose. Staff saw their work as directly connected to patient outcomes. This built public trust. The foundation model allowed longer research timelines and decisions based on medical priorities. This set Nordisk apart in the drug industry and helped establish it as a national asset. Progress was difficult. Animal organ supply varied, production costs were high, and refining methods were still developing. Even so, by the mid-1920s, Nordisk could meet Denmark's insulin needs and begin supplying nearby countries. In 1925, Denmark's insulin project split. Harold and Thorvald Petersen, key technicians at Nordisk Insullaboratorium, left and started Novo Terapeutisk Laboratorium. They chose to compete directly by making insulin. The split was personal and practical. The Petersen brothers felt undervalued and thought Nordisk was missing scientific and commercial chances to improve. For August Krogh's team, this created a direct rival in a small market of under 6 million people. Both firms now fought for patients, medical trust, and hospital relationships. Competition defined the industry. First, both refined extraction and purification to raise yields from animal pancreases. As methods improved, the focus moved to delivery. Early treatment used glass syringes and manual dosing. Slow, awkward, and error-prone. Rivalry pushed faster progress in devices and forced both companies to expand abroad to grow. Through the mid-20th century, Nordisk and Novo raced on purity, stability, and ease of use. New devices cut injection pain, improved dosing accuracy, and made home treatment simpler. Each step won support from doctors and patients. The pace of product improvement rose under pressure, leading to steady gains in insulin quality and delivery. A key moment came in 1985 with the Novo Pen, a reusable pen-shaped device with dose cartridges. It was more discreet and practical than syringes and spread quickly worldwide. Nordisk accelerated its own device work and marketing to keep up. The rivalry had a national effect. Both companies went international, investing in overseas plants, research partners, and export networks. Denmark gained foreign revenue and a reputation in diabetes care. The split also shaped identity. Novo leaned market first and expanded aggressively. Nordisk emphasized scientific rigor, purity, and strong hospital ties. With competitors across town, neither could slow down. That pressure sped up product launches to patients. By the late 1980s, global players in the US and Europe entered insulin. Both Danish firms had to fight abroad while paying for costly work at home. R&D and device development grew more expensive. Keeping two separate leaders in a narrow field looked less practical. In 1989, after long talks, Novo and Nordisk merged to form Novo Nordisk A/S. It became the largest insulin producer. The merger combined manufacturing, research, and distribution. Years of competition left a lean operation, steady product improvement, and a wide global footprint. Under one name, the company could focus resources on global challenges instead of splitting them locally. It could lead in both therapy and delivery technology for millions of patients. Scale brought clear advantages, and the combined position was stronger than either alone. For decades, Novo Nordisk was known for diabetes care. In 2008, it launched Victoza, a once-daily GLP-1 shot for adults with type 2 diabetes. It lowered blood sugar by mimicking a natural hormone and also slowed stomach emptying and reduced appetite. Trials noted the appetite effect, but it was secondary to glucose control. Soon after launch, doctors reported more weight loss than expected from a diabetes drug. For many patients, this paired with better glucose readings. Inside the company, scientists saw a path into obesity treatment. In 2017, Novo Nordisk released Ozempic, a once-weekly GLP-1 for type 2 diabetes. Weekly dosing was more convenient.
In one, you take it.
Oh, in your stomach?
In your stomach. You take it, go like that, press.
That's it.
That's it.
And delivered strong results on glucose control and weight loss. The weight effect drew wide attention among clinicians and patients. The company then developed a dedicated obesity drug using the same mechanism. In 2021, Wegovy entered the market at a higher dose for chronic weight management in adults with obesity or related risks. Trials showed significant sustained weight loss, offering a regulated medical option beyond diet programs and supplements. The launch helped push Novo Nordisk to the top of Europe's market cap rankings. Public awareness surged as celebrities talked about the injections and online speculation grew.
Everyone's like, a smaller portion, like, shut the f up.
Right.
You're on Ozempic or one of those things.
Or Wegovy or whatever.
Yeah, or you got work done, like, just stop.
Social media amplified before and after photos and hashtags with the drug names. Communities exchanged advice on getting prescriptions, managing side effects, and sharing personal experiences, turning a medical treatment into a consumer trend. Demand spiked. Pharmacies in several countries reported long waiting lists. Some users sought prescriptions mainly for cosmetic weight loss. Unregulated channels appeared, including compounded versions and imports. Shortages followed, affecting people with chronic diabetes who relied on GLP-1 drugs. Health agencies in some places asked providers to prioritize diabetic patients until supply improved. Novo Nordisk faced a challenging situation when obesity treatments offered major growth potential, but overwhelmed production systems originally built for diabetes medications. The company needed to make difficult decisions about distributing limited supplies, creating significant reputational risks. They could either focus on new obesity patients at the potential expense of existing diabetes patients, or maintain service to current patients while possibly missing a valuable market opportunity. The situation raised public concerns about whether business goals were taking precedence over medical needs. Scaling was hard. Tight regulation limits how fast manufacturing can expand. The company had to adjust distribution, add capacity, and secure more raw materials while serving current patients and meeting investor expectations. This unfolded in public view as interest in these drugs rose. The company's profile changed. It moved from a specialist name in diabetes to a topic in lifestyle and health discussions. The surge brought a broader cost. Renmarket was set to become more than a corporate story. Novo Nordisk's latest Danish income tax payment was about $2.3 billion. That helped fund record spending on defense. the green transition, and support for Ukraine. For a country under 6 million people, the link between one's firm's results and public policy is unusually close. The scale shows up in growth data. Analysts estimate about half of Denmark's 2024 GDP growth came from Novo Nordisk. Changes in its sales or profits flow into national figures. When pharma output dipped briefly, Denmark posted a 1.8% quarterly GDP drop. Such direct effects from a short production shifts are rare in advanced economies. Market tells a similar story. Novo Nordisk's market value, in the high hundreds of billions, is larger than Denmark's annual GDP. Market cap and GDP measure different things, but the comparison signals that one company now stands beside the home economy in size. This creates policy problems. If budgets depend on one company's earnings, public finances start to track corporate forecasts. A weak quarter can push revenue projections down and force changes to spending on infrastructure, social programs, or foreign aid. Economists call this economic monoculture, too much reliance on one sector or product. GLP-1 drugs for diabetes and obesity support tax revenue, exports, and job outlooks. If demand falls or competitors gain share, the hit would spread fast. The upside today is clear. Novo Nordisk has lifted wages, expanded high-skilled jobs, and strengthened public finances without broad tax hikes. It has widened the trade surplus and directed capital to research and health systems. The question is, what happens if growth slows? A rival launches a strong drug, or health priorities shift. The same indicators that impress investors could turn into headwinds. Protecting a company that carries a nation's economy takes more than sales. It needs defenses on multiple fronts. For Novo Nordisk, ownership provides the base. Novo Nordisk's foundation owns most shares. It doesn't seek quick returns. It uses profits for research, aid, and health efforts. Its assets equal about twice those of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This setup lets the company ignore short-term market demands and back projects other drug firms skip. Supply shortages marked recent years. GLP-1 drug demand grew faster than output. Patients faced waits, and market goals slipped. Novo Nordisk agreed to buy Catalent for $16.5 billion. The deal adds production space, cuts delays, and boosts supply chain control. For drugs where shortages lose customers to rivals, more output acts like a shield. Counterfeits pose another issue. High demand and prices led to fake and unapproved mixed versions. Novo Nordisk sued pharmacies making copies and sellers of fakes. These products risked safety and weakened the brand. Lost trust in drugs can cut sales long term. Pfizer Mike Doustar took over as CEO in 2025. He focuses on global plans and quicker research. His experience in world markets helps handle both established and growing areas for obesity drugs. The company partners with NVIDIA for AI and drug work. AI reviews large data sets to find compounds, plan trials, and forecast results. For a firm tied to a few products, shorter paths from idea to market counter patent ins and rivals. These steps secure production, trust, users, direction, and speed. They protect current income and prepare new drugs. External factors like policy, rival gains, and health changes stay beyond control.